Previously on Dual Destinies. Never have I been forced to reveal so much, but the rest I'll take to my grave. I think whatever he really saw that day is what's causing these feelings. Uh-oh. When you opened the door and saw Athena, you became overwhelmed by your emotions. Isn't that right, prosecutor? And though it's pathetic, I admit I'm terrified to speak of it. Okay, we're getting somewhere. I don't know if I want to know this. Because he sure as hell doesn't want to remember it. Okay, so where were we? Oh. Huh. What the heck? Oh! I don't even know what to say to that. Holy crap. Is it, though? It's his interpretation of the truth, but... That can't be right. The autopsy report says, like, death was instantaneous. And if you're... Oh, no. Holy crap. So it was me. I'm the one who killed my mother. That can't be right. As I said, right, the truth isn't always pretty. Murder, disassembly on an operating table, a scientist using her daughter as a guinea pig. Sadly, it appears my theory was correct after all.
Objection!
Wait. It's true that Athena didn't like her mother's research, but... You dare cast aspersions on my mentor by claiming Athena was used in such a manner. Dr. Sykes could be awkward with people, but she loved her daughter with all her heart. Your mother hated to see you suffer because you could hear the voices of people's hearts. She wanted to set you free of your pain, so she worked tirelessly on her research. Do you remember those headphones you hated so much? Yeah, my head hurt every time I wore them. No, Athena. It's just the opposite. They emitted sound waves to nullify emotional input from the voices of people around you. Your power was much stronger than it is now. And those headphones were what enabled you to carry on with everyday life. That can't be true. Then why? Why would I have done something like that to somebody who loved me so much? Her love for you was real, that I can guarantee. That's why I knew that what happened had to be some kind of mistake. that I couldn't let you be punished for it. So you took the blame yourself. You and your mentor are more alike than you know. Ponko was a witness, so I put it in the case, held Athena close, and vacated the lab. I threw Ponko away in the boarding lounge trash chute, and I hid the case on the Space Center grounds. The trash chute. He threw Ponko away. Why am I laughing? It would seem that we now have all the facts of this case. Well, I don't think we're even close to having all the facts yet.
Objection!
Do not disgrace yourself, Mr. Wright. The truth has been revealed. Or are you the type of man to turn your back to things that disagree with you? I'm not. But this... I can't give up now. I have to say something, anything, even if it's a bluff. I've always managed to pull through that way in the past. I have to make it work. The defense is prepared to present evidence, Your Honor. Today. Mr. Wright. Yes, Athena. It's okay. You can stop now. I don't want you or anyone else to suffer any longer for my sake. Athena, what are you saying? Ugh. I killed my mother. That's the truth. It's just like Prosecutor Edgeworth said. We have to face it, no matter how much it hurts. Well, what was wrong with her that made her want to do that in the first place, though? Wow. It appears Miss Sykes is much braver than you, Mr. Wright. What say you, Your Honor? In light of her courage, will the court give Miss Sykes this opportunity to confess? Very well. Then if you would please take the stand, Miss Sykes. We're gonna get to cross-examine this, or is this just like a soliloquy here? Thank you for letting me do this, Prosecutor Edgeworth. And thank you, Mr. Wright, and Prosecutor Blackquill, for letting the truth be known. Now we can finally move forward, and everyone's suffering can come to an end. But what about yours? Prosecutor Blackquill will be cleared, and the dark age of the law can come to an end. Yes, admit your guilt, and bring everything to its conclusion. I killed my mother. My memory is still a little hazy, but there's no question I remember it. I remember the weight of the weapon in my hands, and the feeling of it stabbing in deep. And I remember the warmth of her blood as it flowed down the handle onto my fingers. Bullshit. There was no blood on the handle. Your Honor, please find me guilty. I dare say these are all memories that no one but the murderer would have. I see. Thank you for your confession. I believe this trial has gone on long enough. But before we conclude, does anyone have a counter-argument? Right over here, Judge. I saw that when I was looking through the evidence earlier on that other question. I do, Your Honor. Mr. Wright. But Mr. Wright, why? I killed her. I remember it now. Any counter-argument now is pointless. Don't tell me you've forgotten one of the basic tenets of lawyering. Always believe in the client to the bitter end. Athena, you were not a murderer. I said that you never change, but could you have actually regressed in these 8 years? Is it possible you could be even more stupid than you were back then? I won't stand for your childish emotionalism getting in the way of the truth. Emotionalism? Don't lecture me on matters of the heart, Edgeworth. I fart in your general direction, because I can see straight into a person's soul. I can see, that is. I can see clearly now. Shit. Wait a minute. That's not how that... This isn't gonna go how you think it is. Luke Skywalker was right, y'all. No, but see, okay. She said the blood dripped on the handle onto her hands, right? Still a chance somewhere deep in Athena's heart. Let me just double check this. On the katana, the weapon used in the murder 7 years ago, it belonged to the victim. The victim's blood was found only on the blade. Booyah, right? Anyway, there's still a chance somewhere deep in Athena's heart. There might still be a memory of that not even she knows about yet. It might be like looking for a grain of sand somewhere in the cosmos, but still, that memory might contain a new fact that could prove her innocence. I hope for everyone's sake that you are not just bluffing, Mr. Wright. Well, me too! Is there or is there not a problem with Miss Sykes' confession? Still a little hazy, no question. I remember it. I remember the weight of the weapon in my hands. And the feeling of it stabbing in deep. And I remember the warmth of her blood as it flowed down the handle onto my fingers. There's definitely something wrong with her memory of the event. I can just tell. If there's a problem with her confession, please prove it to this court now. Right over here.
Take that!
Isn't that the katana the defendant used to kill the victim, Mr. Wright? I respectfully and vehemently disagree, Your Honor. But I remember it. I remember holding the weapon and getting blood on my fingers. Yeah, well, that's exactly my point. If blood really did get on your fingers while you were holding it, there should be blood on the handle. But please focus on the handle of this sword. There's not a trace of blood on it. And therefore, this is clearly a contradiction to the facts. You're right. Oh my! Oh! The defendant must have simply confused a portion of her memories. She mentioned it was hazy to begin with, and we couldn't mull over every minor detail. But she also said there's no question I remember it, a fact we can't ignore. In that case, why don't you explain what this contradiction with her memories means? Gladly! She was slicing open a watermelon. I want to say that Athena didn't stab anyone, but she said herself that she remembers the feeling of committing the act. Oh dear. Did she stab Blackquill? Okay, I know that sounds completely like what the fuck, but have you noticed? I've noticed this. All throughout this entire game, whenever something happens, he like kind of holds his hand over his chest. Kinda makes you wonder, doesn't it? I know that doesn't mean jack, but anyway, she remembers feeling committing the act. What could the contradiction with Athena's memories mean? The blood was wiped off the weapon, or the defendant used a different weapon? Well, neither of these suggests that she... Both of these possibilities still say that she did it. No. Different weapon. Miss Sykes said blood flowed down the handle. The katana's handle is spotless. So doesn't it follow that the defendant must have used a weapon other than the katana? What are you up to this time? I don't know yet. This is it. This time I found just the thing to end Athena's nightmare for good. The weapon that took Dr. Sykes' life was the katana. That much is for sure. So if I can show a possibility that Athena didn't use the katana, it could help me prove her innocent. What else could she have been doing? I can see you're floundering, Mr. Wright. Did you speak without thinking again, as always? Yeah, I did. How does he do that? But I can't back down. Not here, not now. That's right. I did. Because it's so obvious it doesn't require any thought. What did you say? Okay, so maybe that was an exaggeration, but there has to be something. Was there some other bladed weapon in the robotics lab that day? Maybe there's something in one of the crime scene photos. Wait a minute. There is something! There is a high probability that that was in the lab. I don't have that particular weapon here in evidence right now, but I do have a piece of evidence just like it. Other than the katana, this is another blade that may have been at the crime scene. I mean, I guess he could be talking about the utility knife. Because he said it was a piece of evidence that just like it, not the same one. This is the only other blade I have. But that's the murder weapon in the Clay Terran case. Yeah, this is the knife that took Mr. Terran's life. But there must have been a knife just like this at the scene 7 years ago as well. Toolkits containing utility knives like this are issued to Space Center employees. And a robotics lab especially would naturally have one of these around. So, like, how about those hostages? We proved Blackwill's innocence at this point. So, let him go. You know. But besides the katana, no other bladed weapon was found at the site. It was in the investigation report, if you didn't know. The updated investigation. Never mind. Of course I knew that, once you told me just now. Then here's something else you already knew. There was a toolkit at the scene, but it didn't contain any blades. Here is a photo of its contents. Oh. Those things are all out of order. You're right, I don't see any kind of a bladed tool. Well, there seems to be something missing. Yeah, it's the Gyaxa logo. There's no other bladed weapon in the room. Just you wait. I disagree. This toolkit contained a knife. And what proof do you have of that? Tell me your eye for art is failing you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You are the last person in the world who should be criticizing my aesthetic sense. Do I need to throw my chessboard at you? Now, he is simply watching out for your ocular health. Please proceed, Mr. Wright. Oh, man. Notice that the handles of each of these tools have a sort of design on them. Well, I see that they do. But what significance does that have? It's clear that one of the tools is missing from this kit. If we rearrange the tools into a specific pattern, we might be able to tell which part of the overall design is missing. Is that the theory your pitiful sense of aesthetics helped you come up with? Edgeworth, just let it go, man. Show the cult then if you would. What pattern or design would we see if we were to rearrange the tools? Well, where is it? Nope, not there. It's right there. Here we go. And what design is this supposed to represent? The Gyaxa logo, Your Honor. It's on all of the Space Center's documents and pamphlets. As you're aware, Gyaxa is the program that operates the Cosmos Space Center. Oh, I think I see it now. But... well, who's gonna put this puzzle together? Yes, with just the tools shown in this photo. Zip. There you go. The red A part of the logo is missing, and guess what? This is where the murder weapon from the Terran case comes into play. If we were to place the utility knife in the open slot... well, how convenient. It would complete the Gyaxa logo. Thanks, Edgeworth! Boy, you gave that to me just in the nick of time. Admitted, Mr. Edgeworth. My aesthetic sense is keener than yours. And while you're at it, get some new glasses. No. Admit that the weapon Miss Sykes used could have been this one. Whoa! Oh, first time. Oh man, he's all bent over. Oh, I feel bad. Jeez. Order in the corner. Miss Sykes confessed to having a memory of stabbing the victim. Admittedly, Miss Sykes most likely did stab someone using the utility knife. However, the weapon used to kill Dr. Sykes was the katana. Therefore, the act of stabbing that Miss Sykes remembers couldn't be that of Dr. Sykes. Very well. Let's suppose for a minute that Miss Sykes did use the... let's suppose she did. Tell me. How does that change anything? Come again? What if the katana was only being used as a decoy to conceal the true murder weapon? What if the real weapon that took the victim's life was the utility knife? Don't be ridiculous. Or are you changing the premise of your entire argument? I don't know. Are you? I'm merely offering a hypothetical situation derived from your logic. Ooh. Miss Sykes could have put blood on the katana to make it look like the murder weapon, and then concealed the knife on her personage until Blackquill carried her away. That does clear up the contradiction between Miss Sykes' memories and the evidence. If, in fact, the murder weapon is a utility knife, then fate has dealt you a cruel hand. For you have just proven the knife's existence to the rest of us with your own logic. Damn it! The prosecution is attempting to lead the court. No, I'm not. You're the one attempting to lead the court, Mr. Wright, by forcing us to forget the facts of this case. Need I remind you that there are only 2 people in the lab at the time of the murder, and that the defendant herself recalls stabbing someone with her own hands. Can we just get a blood test? Well, there's no blood on the knife. No. It matters not whether the murder weapon... Well, we don't have the murder weapon is the problem. Or whatever weapon she used. The murder weapon's a katana utility knife. As long as we know that the victim and the defendant were the only ones there, you cannot escape the fact that it was Athena Sykes who killed her own mother. But we know that he went there. We know Blackquill went there. Right? So, and if it's true that she stabbed Blackquill for some reason, maybe by accident, then, or what if he, like, stepped in between? Ugh, I don't know. It's almost as if... Now you're finally starting to get it. Your contradictions keep vanishing because the charge is true. And the suspicion keeps coming back to the defendant because that's where it belongs. So shut the fuck up and let's get on with this. Phoenix Wright, when will you open your eyes and accept the truth? Another line that just speaks volumes. Just let him explode. Do we get the head and hands? Yes! Oh my god, we totally do! Man. I don't want to believe it. It can't be true. Ugh. Only Edgeworth could do this to you, Phoenix. All those cases against Blackquill? Not a chance. Hang on. But what if... Mr. Wright, you fought a good fight. I think you've done all you can do. Is giving up really the only option? Well, that's what we thought 15 minutes ago, but then we stopped. Because we remembered something. I don't know what's going to get us out of it this time, but... Snap out of it, Phoenix. What's the matter with you? Giving in to doubt. I can't look back. Forward is the only way to go. Slam. No, Your Honor, not yet. It isn't over yet. Right. Rock. I can't lose sight of what's important. I believe in Athena, and I'll always believe in her to the very end. But that doesn't change the truth, though, man. Give it up. Why am I saying that to the good guys here? The defense lawyer never gives up on his client. I have to pick myself up and stand firm. Make that brain of yours work, Phoenix. If I don't see a way, just have to go back and look for one. Time to rethink this case. Thoroughly. Okay. I concede the fact that Athena must have stabbed someone with a utility knife. This must have been what Ponka witnessed as Athena's hug. Wait a minute. You're still saying she witnessed the hug, though. Well, yeah, I mean, there's no reason not to think that. But Prosecutor Blackquill didn't see the knife at the scene. This means that someone must have removed it from the lab before he arrived. Who could have taken the utility knife from the lab? I guess Athena could have taken it. But that's the prosecution's claim. Yeah, you're right, but I was just saying, that doesn't mean that she did anything with it, it just... Okay, well, someone else was my first thought anyway. I think this is another thing where they're gonna say he took the knife with him. Maybe he had it in his chest when he was walking, you know, in that corridor. Well, then there would have been blood dripping, though. Alright, anyway. By covering their own face. But wait a minute, Ponko has a heartbeat detection system, too. Even if they cover their own face, Ponko would have still detected their presence. But she wouldn't have been able to tell who they were. Wait, that's it. The culprit could have covered their face and posed as which person to avoid detection. Metapsychs. If the culprit posed as the victim, that would explain why Ponko thought only she and Athena were there. All they had to do was take advantage of Ponko's basic recognition features. The culprit used this in order to pose as the victim. The culprit could have posed as the victim by wearing her jacket with the ID tag on it. But that still leaves the heartbeat detection system. How'd the culprit get around that? It wouldn't have worked if Ponko could detect the real Dr. Sykes' heartbeat too. So does that mean that the real Dr. Sykes was already dead by that time? If that's the case, then who did Athena stab? The real culprit. That's it. Well, we're calling Simon the culprit here, but... No, we're not calling Simon the culprit, but he was the only other one who was in there. Now that Mr. Wright has finally finished thinking, let us bring this to a swift end. Please give us your verdict, Your Honor, so that we can move on to hostage negotiations. You are absolutely right, Prosecutor Edgeworth. I hereby... Nope. I didn't say I was finished. I was only pausing for a second. Because I realized something so shocking I had to take a break to digest it. But now I know for a fact that Miss Sykes is innocent. But Ponko saw me. She witnessed the moment of the crime. Yes, Ponko did witness something. She saw the hug. In other words, the moment you used the utility knife. But the person you stabbed wasn't your mother. What are you saying, Mr. Wright? The answer is simple. The person Miss Sykes stabbed was a third person posing as Dr. Sykes. What? Uh-oh.
Objection!
Do you really expect us to swallow that, Mr. Wright? According to the robot's statements, there was no third person there. Did you really think I wouldn't see through your ludicrous grasp for time? Oh, but just you wait. See, after all we've been through, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm disappointed. Don't you know by now that this smile of mine means I have absolute confidence? You make that pose all the time, regardless of the facts. Clunko's strange malfunction. Mr. Terran, you look pale. Shall I help you to the sick bay? Mr. Terran. But that's Apollo you're talking to. Oh, this hunky junkie has mistaken Apollo for Clay. Yeah, I remember that really freaking me out when that happened. That was another case of mistaken identity caused by a jacket ID tag. Oh, okay. That's why. Oh, man. I think I should have realized that back then, too. Oof. All because Klonko couldn't read Apollo's facial features due to that eye patch. Like Mr. Edgeworth said, a mask could nullify the robot's facial recognition. Or a really big, like, long bangs. Except we don't want it to be Mr. Blackquill, because then that means he did it. Of all the ridiculous theories, what good would a silly disguise like that do? Have you forgotten that the robot also has a heartbeat detection system? Yeah, but it doesn't know whose heart is whose. If there was a third person at the scene, the robot would have detected them. So that's why they had to turn off her heart, so the robot wouldn't know, I guess. Because by that time, Dr. Sykes' heart had already stopped beating. Why? Oh, okay, so that's... okay. So that's how we prove it, then. Because it wouldn't be possible for her to have been alive at that point, or else the robot would have known. The person Miss Sykes had stabbed. This third person who was posing as Dr. Sykes is her mother's real killer. But that's... I'm... Impossible! Oh, impossible. This courtroom is a mess, y'all. And I don't just mean physically. A mask. The person I stabbed was wearing a mask? Order! Order in the court! Miss Sykes, did you say something? A mask. What? What was that? Wait, can I see that again? Oh my god! Athena! What is it? It's that look again. Here they come. Oh. And she's gonna faint, and to be continued. Wait a minute. Holy crap. Wow. Oh, man. I mean, oh, holy crap. They're gone. The Black Psyche locks are finally gone. You didn't really stab your mother, did you? It's alright, Athena. Just tell us what you saw that day. I was drawing a picture. When I was done, I went to show it to my mom. I opened the door, and then... Ugh. It's alright, I'm right here. You're safe, Athena. She was on the floor, by the workbench, with a katana sticking out of her. There was a handkerchief over her face, but I knew it was her by her clothes. And there was a man there. Oh man! I was gonna do the Abib voice, but no. Quiet, Your Honor! Go on, Athena. Jeez. He tried to attack me. In a panic, I grabbed the knife that was there and... Ugh. He dodged at first. So I only got his clothes. But I tried again. And this time you got him, didn't you? I did. I remember it clearly now. The knife went into the back of his hand. Then he kicked me, and I passed out. Huh. When I came to, my mom wasn't moving. I had to do something. I had to fix her, I thought. So I asked Ponko to move her to the operating table. So she didn't kill her, but she did take her to the dismantling table. And that's what Prosecutor Blackquill saw when he came in. Your Honor, as you can see, the defendant has just given us critical new testimony. A man was there before Miss Sykes arrived. A man who covered the victim's face. Put on the victim's jacket. This man is the real culprit. Miss Sykes, do you have any idea who this man was? No, I'm afraid I don't. A few moments ago, Miss Sykes mentioned a mask. Athena, can you tell us anything else about that? Yes, the mask. It was my mom's Japanese theater mask. Oh. Huh. Ooh. A phantom. It would seem that a new suspect has emerged. And that means all suspicion against Miss Sykes has... You see, this is precisely why I can't trust the court system. Athena Sykes is the murderer. I won't accept any other verdict. Miss Blackquill, we got your brother off, man. What do you want with her? A new suspect. Where's the proof this person ever existed? Who says it wasn't all just a dream in the little princess's groggy little head? Ugh, she's right. We don't have any hard evidence of the masked man's existence. What do we? Thank you, Mr. Wright. I'll never be able to repay you for all you've done. But I'm fine now, because I can say with certainty that I didn't kill my mother. Athena, I'm so glad for you. More and more memories are coming back now. So I'd like to say one thing if I could. I gotta let this music play, man. Oh my gosh. Can I? Okay, well, the recording's up to 2 hours and 30 minutes here. Really having a hard time finding a place to stop here. But I need to stop because it gets dangerous for my computer. Anyway, we'll be right back. This may be the end of the video, it may not, I don't know yet. You'll see then, but until then, bye.